Damn, y'all, they clipped Jimmy Kimmel. Suspended indefinitely following his remarks about Charlie Kirk.
People across America are now getting fired for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. This includes political analysts, firefighters, military personnel, and even teachers. In fact, in Texas, nearly 200 school staff are under investigation by local authorities for social media comments and could have their licenses suspended. And it doesn't stop there, because Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned foreign nationals in America, saying, if you are here on a visa and cheering the public assassination of a political figure, prepare to be deported. And also yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance, while hosting an episode of The Charlie Kirk Show, added to the issue, saying, call them out, and hell, call their employers. Some people have even gone as far as putting up a website called Expose Charlie's Murderers, which aims to expose and dox those making insensitive comments towards his murder. And so far, according to a notice on their site, they have already received nearly 30,000 submissions. Now, some say this feels authoritarian and politically motivated, while others say no one has been arrested for celebrating his death, and that people get fired from their jobs all the time for saying stuff on social media. But what do you guys think? Are these fair consequences for someone celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, or is this going too far?
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right. So guys, I don't know how many of you have heard about the very famous phrase, power is power. These were words that were said by Cersei Lannister in a very famous movie called The Game of Thrones, if you are a fan of it, yeah?
Right, and these words she was telling them to a person called Lord Baelish. Why is this significant or important to today's episode? A lot of Americans are really losing their jobs for speaking up their opinions. And including them are famous celebrities and powerful people, right?
Right. Only recently, like last night, it happened to Jimmy Kimmel. And I say last night because here where we are at, it was last night, yeah? It happened to Jimmy Kimmel, a very famous public figure. And he's not the only one who's losing his job over this. Even common people are losing their jobs.
Right. And in today's episode, the biggest question we are asking is this really truly fair? Because when Charlie was alive, he would be able to speak on any subject, however way he saw fit, right? So right now, people are trying to express their opinions, and most of them are losing their jobs, especially if you work for the government or in proximity to the government.
Right, but guys, what are we talking about? Let's watch what we prepared for you, and then we come back and talk about it. The one question I would like to ask you is, we are going to play whatever Jimmy said, and guys, let us know, were his words so offensive to the point where he had to lose his job over it, in comparison to how Charlie Kirk used to speak also? Let us know in the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch and then we come back with our commentaries.
Damn, y'all, they clipped Jimmy Kimmel. Suspended indefinitely following his remarks about Charlie Kirk. Now, I will say that I don't think his remarks were really about Charlie Kirk, nor do I think they were that bad. But I'll let you see for yourself.
Over the weekend, with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some...
It's so interesting to me because they're reporting it as he was talking about Charlie Kirk, but he was in fact talking about MAGA and J.D. Vance and the far right. Now, I personally think that they suspended him because of what he said about J.D. Vance after J.D. Vance hosted Charlie Kirk's podcast.
From the White House, where he pointed his little mascara-stained finger directly at the left.
While our side of the aisle certainly has its crazies, it is a statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left.
Right. And by statistical fact, he means complete bullshit is what he means.
Now, y'all know how Mascara Man and the man with the toupee get real sensitive when people start talking about their looks. I just think it's interesting that they're on this mission to get people fired in the name of Charlie Kirk, while Charlie Kirk was walking around saying way more extreme things and mocking the death of black people. I'm just saying.
When Stephen Colbert announced that his late-night show was being canceled back in July, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, had a chilling reaction.
Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going. I don't know, but I would imagine because they get Colbert has better ratings than Kimmel or Fallon. You know that.
They're next. I hear they're going to be going. Well, tonight, an ABC spokesperson confirms that Jimmy Kimmel's late night show has been preempted indefinitely. Now, it comes just hours after a large set of ABC affiliates announced they would refuse to air Kimmel's show. They say because of comments the late night host made on Monday night relating to the motives of the man that shot and killed Charlie Kirk, wrongly suggesting the killer was part of the MAGA movement. He was not. Nexstar, the largest owner of local stations in the country, came out and said it, quote, strongly objects to recent comments made by Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC affiliated markets. And if that were the whole story, he said something, it was not correct, the affiliates pushed back, well, then that would be one story. But that, of course, is not the whole story. Okay? Because crucially, just hours before that statement, Trump's hand-picked FCC chairman went on a podcast and suggested ABC's broadcast license or affiliates could be at risk if they did not suspend or fire Kimmel, essentially issuing an order saying, and I quote him here, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." Well, hours later, ABC made the announcement Kimmel would indeed be taken off the air indefinitely.
So in order to understand the Jimmy Kimmel situation, you need to understand how television works, particularly local television. In your hometown, you probably have an ABC station, an NBC station, a CBS station, Fox station. Now, unless you live in big cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, these stations are affiliate stations. That means they're owned by a company that's not ABC, NBC, CBS, etc., but either a company that owns 2 or 3 stations or by a station group, like Sinclair Broadcasting, Tegna, Nexstar. Then there are what's called O&Os, which are owned and operated stations. For example, the ABC station in New York is owned and operated by ABC News. Same thing with ABC7 in Los Angeles, it's owned by ABC News Disney. It is rare these days that a station will be owned by a small company. That's because around 10, 15 years ago, station groups, namely Sinclair, started buying up a bunch of local stations all around the country. NBC affiliates, ABC affiliates, it didn't matter. And particularly they focused on small and mid-sized markets. Now this was a strategic move because if you own what the majority of the country, these small local news stations that people in these small towns still watch, then you get to influence what they see. And Sinclair is conservative. It's evident in their content. Now, I used to work for Sinclair back in the day after they bought the station that I was working at. And they used to have these things called must-runs, which means no matter where in the country, if you're a Sinclair station, you must put these specific stories in your rundown, aka the news of the day that you're broadcasting. And that's when late night talk shows started making fun of the fact that anchors around the country were saying verbatim the same thing.
Sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets.
Yes.
Do you think that you were poking the bear a little bit to see if they would,
No.
you know, by doing political stuff and all, or saying whatever is on your mind and risking viewership? Do you think you're kind of poking them a little bit to see what they would do?
No, and I really, this is just my, I don't know. This is, I really think that when they were trying to buy Fox, they were worried that Trump was going to screw them up somehow. And I think that was part of why they were nervous about my comments, you know. I don't think anybody was, certainly I don't think their political beliefs conflicted with mine, but yeah, if you want to do if you want to have a big audience, you want to keep you don't want to piss a lot of people off, and I was pissing a lot of people off. But as far as being appreciated, feeling appreciated, I would say the first 10 to 12 years of my tenure at ABC, the feeling was you're lucky to be here. I think that's the feeling I always got, is that somehow somebody was doing me a favor by allowing me to be on their network. And that changed very late into my run there, you know. And
was there something that you think changed it?
Well, I think there were different people there. I think that's what it was. I think that there's a group of executives that worked at Fox who had a different, who told me, they would say like, oh, we wish he was here. You know, we wish we had him on our stage at the network up front, or, speaking for us, or, whatever, doing a show on this network. And when they came over to ABC, they took that opinion of me with them. and expressed it, which was, which a lot of people don't do. A lot of networks. And to me, I know it's weird, but I worked in radio for a long time, and I got fired from a lot of jobs. And like my boss's opinion of me means something to me, and maybe, I know that that's not the case for a lot of people. I don't think David Letterman ever cared what his boss thought of him, but that's somehow ingrained in me. And maybe it's from being fired so often. Maybe it's just my personality or whatever, but that is something in me. And to hear the people I work for say that they liked what I was doing and they valued me was important to me.
Now, this is important because affiliates make a deal with the network that they will broadcast their programming in their market and in exchange for example, content. So like ABC News will give ABC affiliates access to their video, and affiliates will give ABC News access to their video. So it's a matter of sharing the resources. So what happened with Jimmy Kimmel is two of the nation's biggest broadcast groups, Nexstar and Sinclair, basically told ABC, we're not gonna show Jimmy Kimmel in our markets, and they got a bunch of markets, if you don't rectify the situation. And I should mention that right now, currently, Nexstar is trying to buy one of the other big station groups, Tegna, which owns stations in Dallas and Atlanta, which now are getting into top 10 big city markets. So you see, in a time where viewership is declining, ABC can't really afford to piss off two of the big broadcast groups. Now, if that deal goes through, that means Nexstar will own 265 stations in 44 states and DC, which also Sinclair has a station in DC, the ABC station. That represents 80% of US households. Right now, Nexstar owns 32 ABC stations. Now, both Nexstar and Sinclair have been trying to proposition the FCC to relax regulations on the number of stations they can buy, because if it's up to them, they would buy more. And local news is some of the cheapest programming to produce. So if a station doesn't want to buy a syndicated show, they just throw on another local news show, 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And when budgets are being slashed and in small towns where they just can't produce that much content, you get this much local news, and then it is packed with something that comes from the headquarters. Anyways, I just wanted to add context.
And we will start with breaking news. Disney's ABC is taking Jimmy Kimmel's late-night talk show off air indefinitely. Live now, 2Nine's US correspondent Jonathan Kersley in LA. Jono, why is the show being pulled?
Essentially, it's because of comments that Jimmy Kimmel made in his opening monologue 2 nights ago in reference to Tyler Robinson, the suspect who had been arrested over the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The comments were described as sickening by the FCC, which is essentially the telecommunications, the television watchdog here in the United States of America. A short time ago, Disney's ABC announcing that Jimmy Kimmel Live is off-air and off-air indefinitely. These are the comments that attracted the attention and the threats from the FCC.
We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
Now, he is not the only late-night talk show host and comedian to attract the wrath of the Trump administration. You've got to remember Stephen Colbert, another US talk show host who just days ago won an Emmy. Well, his show was cancelled in the wake of criticism directly from US President Trump. But just repeating that news, major late-night show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, pulled off the air indefinitely by Disney's ABC.
Aside from this obviously being the end of democracy, and we're clearly in fascism now, I'm upset about this for a lot of reasons. But I want to tell you my personal connection to this. That is my dad. He worked security for Jimmy Kimmel for 10 years. When my dad retired, the show gave him a beautiful gift that is still in my parents' living room today. They gave him a rocking chair, and the inscription says, "You've been standing too long. You can rest now." I went to that show all the time. Everyone there was amazing. And I just want to say thank you to Jimmy Kimmel for all the years that you gave my dad and all the years that you gave us as well.
Excuse me and hello, I beg your finest pardon? This is diabolical. Jimmy Kimmel has been suspended indefinitely for saying comments that some people in the government might not agree with. What did he say? Let me just put it up on the screen because we're not living in a normal world. The FCC chair went on some podcast today and started talking about how he was not happy, which means they are not happy, which we already knew because when Stephen Colbert went off the air, he said this, basically letting us know that Kimmel was going to be next. But here's the thing, maybe you don't agree with what he said, maybe you don't like Kimmel, maybe you're left, maybe you're right. Last I checked, freedom of speech is the first frickin' amendment. You don't have to agree with what he said to know that it's wrong to pull him off the air for this. It's giving this situation 100%. Some people got angry when they were told they had to wear a mask or social distance. Can you imagine if somebody told you you can't say what you're thinking? Seriously, everybody, take a step back, sip some water, take a deep breath, and really think about this. What in the actual is going on?
They just canceled Jimmy Kimmel. Quite literally, like 20 minutes ago, Disney's ABC just announced that they would be canceling Jimmy Kimmel because of his comments about Charlie Kirk. This sucks, but it should shock no one because after Stephen Colbert was canceled, Trump literally said, Jimmy Kimmel, you're next. But if anyone, for any reason, was under the guise that Disney was going to stand up to the fascists, they're not. They are further stoking this partisan violence that we are seeing unfold due to what happened to Charlie Kirk and how Republicans are milking it, just as Jimmy Kimmel said.
Every single day I scroll TikTok, Candace Owens makes a little bit more sense, and I'm honestly scared. She was like, this isn't about left and right. If you got caught up in the ideologies, it's okay. I did too. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What has colonized her frontal lobe? Because it wasn't there before.
No. So I'm willing to bet SNL's days are numbered, as well as South Park, and any streaming services that host either of them, and or Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel's new shows, should they choose to create something else. And past that, I give us 6 months before we have a state-ran media network. And I don't mean Fox News, because they're pretty damn close. I mean genuinely Trump TV.
Sinclair, the nation's largest owner of ABC affiliates, says that Jimmy Kimmel's suspension is not enough. They're calling on the FCC and ABC to take further action. The right-wing broadcasting giant says that it will not air Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future. They are demanding that Kimmel apologize to the Kirk family, donate money to both the Kirks and the far-right group Turning Point USA, and that ABC hold formal talks about its, quote, commitment to professionalism and accountability. Sinclair is also pressuring the FCC to strip national networks of control over their channels, and this weekend they are going to air specials honoring Charlie Kirk across their ABC affiliates and the other stations that they own. Think about how frightening this is. The largest pro-Trump media conglomerate, controlling the most local news stations in America, is doing Trump's bidding, silencing his critics and pumping out pro-MAGA propaganda as local news. Remember that viral clip where dozens of local anchors read the same exact script, and Elon Musk, Trump, and Republicans pointed to it as the fake liberal media?
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
That was Sinclair, this same right-wing conglomerate. Now they are openly silencing anyone Trump sees as an enemy while forcing MAGA propaganda into homes across the country. We'll keep following the story as long as we can, so make sure you follow along for more.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the videos you just played in the comment section here. You know, at this point, it feels like America is a very peculiar place. It's a strange place to be in because like right now, you don't even know what is right from what is wrong. No, as in when it comes to speaking, you don't know what you should say and what you shouldn't say. Or if you say it, how you should code it. Exactly. Or how you should put across the message. Because there used to be a point where America used to be the epitome of democracy, I believe, right? And there used to be a point where America used to be referred to the world of the free, right? Right. But right now, people are losing their jobs for the most trivial things because I feel like if you're going to regulate people from speech, it should be across all board, from everybody, every party, or it doesn't matter if you support Republicans or if you support Democrats. If it is a law for the country or for a specific set of people, it should be across all board. You know, right now it feels like something is just ticking off in America, and I wonder how or what has sent America over the edge like this. And guys, also remember Colbert, he is a media personality who lost his job, So now Americans on TikTok are coming together and they're like saying, why don't Jimmy and Colbert open a podcast where they can freely, they shouldn't wait to be employed by big companies or corporations that are controlled by oligarchs, right? What if they just open their own stations or podcasts, because both have big names and both command huge crowds? They come together and open a podcast where they could be able to speak freely and people could be able to follow what they're saying. But personally, how I'm looking at it, if Trump predicted Jimmy was next in line after Colbert lost his job, then that was not a prediction. They were laying the ground for Jimmy to lose the perfect time for him to lose his job, is what people are saying online. Right. And right now you're asking yourself, right? So if anything you talk about MAGA that does not favor their narrative, right? What is going to happen to you, and how is media going to be looking like if everybody are supposed to be speaking the same language? Okay, it's not to say that Jimmy and Colbert and their likes will not be okay. They're going to be okay because, of course, by now they've built brands and people are going to follow them wherever. Like, heck, if Candace Owen was fired and she landed on her own 2 feet and she still has an audience, I feel like Piers Morgan's in Britain, he was fired and he landed well on his 2 feet. Right, they're also gonna be okay. But the thing is, if they're trying, this is just the beginning of them showing what they can be able to do. And if they don't want something to be spoken about, it won't be spoken about, especially by media stations, because if you successfully attack one strong individual who is influential and can be heard, the other ones will cower away from talking about certain topics, you know, because I also do feel like a lot of people have been losing their lives in America just last week alone due to, you know, gun violence. You know, it wasn't Charlie alone. And while I might understand why the government is trying to sensitize people on the subject of Charlie losing his life, I don't understand why he is the only one being put on a pedestal while others like him who also lost their lives in the same week, including the children who were unalived not too far from where he lost his life. Why aren't they also being put in pedestals? And, you know, I would have understood the real issue. Instead of trying to cap people's mouths and, you know, regulate what people's thoughts and what they're saying, you could instead just handle the issue at heart. What is the root cause of all that is happening? That is what needs to be taken care of. But the interesting thing is, it's like right now the people who are in power, they're not seeing that as a problem, the real root cause. You know, they'd rather fight the people who are speaking against, you know, the things that are happening than taking care of the real issue that caused all of this to begin with. You know? Because I do feel like even if they do take care of a few people who are speaking against what they truly believe in, right, the real problem is not going to go away, because you'll be waking up and hearing in another location someone lost their lives because of this and the same issue, you know. So I do support you on that, and I do feel like gun reforms need to be made. You know, it's getting worse when they're talking about deportations. So if you're an immigrant, you not only have to like move carefully. Right now, you also worry about
about ICE getting you, also have to worry about keeping your mouth shut or filtering your thoughts.
Right, because they're not proposing that if immigrants are found speaking negatively about this issue on Charlie Kirk, then you're going to have to be deported. For those ones who are employed, they want you to be fired. If you're not getting fired, they're gonna be going for your boss, you know. So either way, I'm seeing a situation where, you know, people can't look all alike and people can't think like sheeps, you know. People differ in thoughts, people think differently. That is why you find some people supporting the Republicans, and that is why you find some people supporting Democrats, because people cannot see eye to eye on everything. People have different point of views, you know. But this is like creating a ground for people to start thinking in the same way. It's like conditioning people
to start thinking like sheep, like thinking the same way. Right. Of which, guys, the biggest question we're also asking today is, do you think America will manage to retain its democracy, or do you think it will reach a point where people will be afraid to speak up just because you're afraid of the consequences?
I feel like we're past that question, because right now there was a point, that is why when we were starting, I was talking about there was a point where America used to be the epitome of democracy. There was a point where America used to be the epitome of the free world, you know. So right now I feel like we were past that question a long time ago, because even like when you look at the things that are happening right now in America, it does not shout democracy, quite the opposite of it, you know. But I don't know, guys. Let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. But it's quite sad that people are losing their jobs just simply because they have a difference in opinion. Exactly. They refuse to see eye to eye with someone else's point of view, you know.
Yeah, which makes me wonder if someone who allegedly supports the Democrats' ideology, if that person gets unalived the same way Charlie did, God forbid, right? Would they also go to this length to shut people up about that same person?
That's a good question, you know. But I don't know, guys. Let us know what you think about this episode. And also remember, when people have disagreements, there are people who are benefiting from it, right? And right now, it's beginning to look like...
There's a lot of chaos in America. You're just wondering what's going on up there.
Right. So, guys, let me not talk too much. Just let me know what you think about this on the comment section, because who's to say that? Let's just say Kimmel and Colbert started a podcast and they came onto YouTube. At the end of the day, YouTube is also a platform that is owned by somebody. If they make a call to YouTube and tell them they shouldn't they should make it difficult for
them to exist on
YouTube. So where are they going to be airing their thoughts? Where are they going to be practicing their journalistic skills? You know, it's quite tricky.
Guys, let us know what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.